Hello everyone, I'm Joe Ackourey, and welcome to the Fly of the Week. For this episode 89, I'll be tying my weighted version of the Hellgrammite Nymph. Hellgrammites have a life cycle for up to 5 years and can grow quite large, up to 4 inches in length. I typically fish this pattern for smallmouth bass and trout. The bass version is a little bit larger, sizes 4s, 6s, and 8s, and I tie the trout versions in 8s, 10s, and 12s. And yeah, just bounce them off the bottom, just like you're nymph fishing, dead drifting these nymphs right on the bottom. That should do the trick. So, without further ado, let's get started. All right, guys, here we go. The Weighted Hellgrammite Nymph. It's a pattern that I developed over 40 years ago. Great pattern for trout and smallmouth bass. I tie it in sizes 4s, right around 8s, 10s. It's a good representation and it works. Okay, you know the drill. Start by placing your hook in the vise, making sure that the shank of the hook is parallel with your tabletop, or relatively parallel, and begin to cover the entire shank of the hook with thread. I believe in a thread base prior to putting down any materials. Reason being that any material that's on top of this thread base will be much stronger than just a bare hook. That's for sure. All right. So this pattern is an involved pattern, no doubt. It's not hard to tie. It's just time consuming, and it has several parts, and just be patient with it. But it's very effective, and I think it'll enhance your catching abilities for sure. All right, so the first step to this fly is putting the tail on. And for the tail, for this Hellgrammite pattern, I'm going to use a very soft natural black hackle. It's a very soft wet fly hackle. And I'm going to do the usual. I'm going to draw the fibers down so they're perpendicular to the stem, and I'm going to grab them, as many as I can get between my fingers, and just kind of tap them together on the pulled ends and draw out the natural ends like so. So this is going to be approximately equal to half the shank of the hook, and I'm going to pop that into place that we determined and anchor that down. Just kind of, once you get it anchored down, you want to kind of tie down any excess. So what I'm going to do is take my glue, and I'm going to just saturate these fibers with my glue, and just let it sit there for a minute or two. Probably more like 30 seconds. So now for the next step, the ribbing. The ribbing for this, or the segmentation for this, is nothing more than size A black rod wrapping thread. Tie that in just like you did for the tail, and just let that hang and put that in your material clip. So I believe there's enough time for this tail has set enough, so I'm going to separate this tail with my dubbing needle into equal bunches like so, carefully. And I'm going to give it a little spin each side. Forgive my fingers. And you end up with something like that. I'm going to put a figure 8 in there, just to kind of keep them apart. Just one's more than enough. And we'll doctor those up a little bit more as we get closer to finishing the fly. Okay, now the next step is putting the abdomen cover, which is going to double as also the thorax cover. And I love using wild turkey tail feather section for this. Got great modded characteristics. Coloration is perfect, and it's got some serious length. So what I'm going to do is clip off a good gap's worth. Take that section out, That's a little bit more than a gap. Let's get rid of a couple fibers. Yeah, it's just got to get a little bit more off there. There we go. That looks good. Now, this is the side that the turkey shows us. This is the underside. These are the natural ends, and these are the cut ends. I'm going to tie in the natural ends with the underside facing up. Just like so. I'm going to angle it toward me, and then as I wrap, it'll kind of roll into place. I'm going to tie down all this excess, and then I'm going to make sure I'm tightly up against the tails. There's no excuse to have any thread behind these two pieces here, the tails and then thread, and then the wing cover for the, I keep calling it wing cover, the abdomen cover. So you see that little thread there? That's a no-no. Come all the way back till you're kind of button up against the tails, button up against them like so. There you go, perfection. Leave that lay back. So now, this is a weighted nymph, and I'm going to load it up, guys. So I'm going to put strips on each side, and not only does this help weight the fly, but it's also going to act as a form for the body. So I'm going to put my first strip on my side, and they're going to run parallel to the shank of the hook, and I don't want you to crowd the eye. Look where I'm at. You need to give a little bit of space behind the eye there. And the same is true for the abdomen. You don't want to go tight up against the abdomen, or up against that abdomen cover. And always bend your lead off. Don't cut it off, because you don't want a sharp end. By bending it off or helicoptering it off, it adds a really nice smooth break. Now for your side. Get your thread in position. There you go. Lock that in. And I'll show you guys as soon as I get done with putting this on. I'm going to just follow through, go right to the back, and helicopter it off. Nice. So there you have it. I'm not crowding the rear of the fly or the eye. So that's the first amount. We're going to double up on that now. And notice I'm not going up even with the previous lead. I want to go about a 32nd of an inch behind it. And when I do that, it enables a nice tapered look to it, so to speak, because when I put materials down on it, I don't want it falling off the shelf of lead. I want a nice taper down. And I'm going to repeat that same procedure for the back here. It's not even with the back, it's just shy of it. And that's what I'm looking to do. And again, this is a procedure. It takes time, no doubt. There we go. Now I'm going to put a piece on the sides, but this one's going to be shorter. Now I'm going to back off a little bit. You can't see it from your side, but I'm going to back off from that previous bunch. And this is going to be to form the thorax. I'm going to go probably halfway. And again, helicopter it off, and I'll show you when I get to your side. This is going to form the thorax. It's a little bit less than half. Okay. There you go. So we're done with the lead weight, and which is going to act as a weight, obviously, and also a form. So now for the hackle. These are the gills. I'm using a black saddle hackle with a fiber length, which is about a gap or so. I'm going to draw down Actually, I'm going to go attach the tip in first. So I'm going to draw down the fibers, and I'm going to anchor that right in the back there. Just let that lay. So now I am ready to start building the body. And I've discovered that my hair zero blend works really well for this nymph. And the trout and bass just love this two-tone. Like, you'll see what I'm talking about when I'm done. But we're going to gradually build a body, or the abdomen, which is going to comprise of 70% of the hook shank. So form your dubbing noodle and have at it. This is a process, guys. This takes some time, no doubt, but it'll be well worth it. The end result is amazing. And just cover it up. And it may take several applications. It's going to take several applications, but when I'm done with this bug, it's going to crawl away. And like I said, the trout and the bass love it. I fish this just like any nymph. I dead drift it, bouncing off the bottom, and it does the trick. Okay. Looking a little ugly right now, but that's the way it goes. So we're building the abdomen slowly, and it looks like I'm putting on a lot here, but I'm doing it in very small amounts, forming that noodle. Almost done. Right to the, we got to get to the spot where the abdomen and thorax are going to meet, and that's it. The abdomen will be completed as far as dubbing the body up. It looks bulky right now, but the end result will speak volumes. So yeah, I've had some really good experiences with this this nymph for both smallmouth and trout. And yeah, I highly recommend this one. So we got our abdomen built. Now we're going to take the gill material and carefully wrap the gills up. Equally spaced wraps. That looks good. Clip off your excess. Now you're going to clip off, and that's what it looks like. You're going to clip off all of the hackle fibers from the top and eventually from the bottom, but one step at a time. There we go. Now I'm going to take this abdomen cover and go right over the top and center it just like so. And carefully secure it with eight or nine wraps. Okay, guys. And then you're going to fold it back because we have to cover up those thread wraps. You're going to fold it back on itself and wrap on top and butt it right up against the abdomen, because now we're at the beginning of the thorax. So let's review. Our first step was covering the entire shank of the hook with thread, and after doing that, we made our tail. We made our tail from a soft black hackle, a hen hackle. We gathered it up in one bunch, and then we lacquered it and separated it in equal bunches. Then we tied in our segmentation material, which is nothing more than size A black rod wrapping thread. We tied in our our abdomen and thorax cover, which is wild turkey tail feather. It's got really nice markings on it, and it's got the length for you to achieve both abdomen and thorax. And then we tied in our hackle. Our hackle was a black hackle, saddle hackle actually. It with a fiber length of 1.5 gaps to 2 gaps. And then we folded our material over for our abdomen, and now we're going to prepare for the segmentation. So we wrap these segments up the shank of the hook very carefully, not grabbing too much of the gill material, and just kind of weave it in there like so. Equal spaces. Equal spacing is critical. And then I'm going to give it a wrap or two, and then lock it down. And then I'm going to fold it back on itself so that it doesn't slip. And tie that in. Clip that off. Grab your thorax material and just make sure that it's tightly up against the abdomen. And there you have it. Okay, now for the thorax. We have our wing case for the thorax, and now we're going to introduce the legs. The legs are another black hackle, but much larger. So we're going to draw down the fibers so that we can strip the fibers off, exposing the stem. There's a natural curve to this feather. We always want to tie it in with a natural curve going down and over the fly, not up and away. So I'm going to attach that to my side. There we go. Clip that off. And we're going to start building the thorax. Again, we're using hare's ear fur blend. The buggier the hare's ear, the better. And when I designed this blend, it's got a lot of guard hairs, and it's a buggy blend for sure. But it goes on it dubs really nice. Okay, let's get started on the thorax. Just keep building it up. And I'm just gonna build it so that that looks close enough. The legs reside within the thorax. We're laying a foundation of fur blend for that area. It's looking good. Looks bulky, but I promise you, it'll be an amazing piece of artwork when it's done. Okay, just finish this up. There we go. And now this will be the last bit that I'm going to put on here. Again, like I said, it's a time-consuming fly, but the end result will speak volumes. Okay, now take your hackle and give yourself 3 nice, evenly spaced wraps. You don't need your hackle pliers if you have a larger hackle like I do. Clip that off, and also clip off the fibers on top of the thorax. Nice. Okay. Take your wing case for the thorax and draw it over the top. Try to get it centered. There we go. And again, draw any fibers back and just wrap into it. And you have something like that. Now, fold back, because we have these wraps here, we're going to fold the thorax cover back. We're going to lay a good foundation of thread. And we're going to dub a little bit more on for the head area. It's looking good, guys. Just hang in there. I know it's a procedure here. nice. Okay. Maybe just a tad more. See a couple areas there that need to be filled in. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Here we go. The last bit. Fold that over. And make sure that's centered. Excellent. Tie your finishing knot. Okay, right now it looks like a big mess, but we're going to clean it up. Get rid of some of these excess wing case covers pieces here. We're going to leave a couple for the knot. I'm sorry, for the pinchers. There we go. We'll just keep 2 of them. And now we're going to bring this baby to life. So in the thorax, in the abdomen, we're going to draw out the fibers of the fur blend and the thorax. Don't touch the head. Leave the head alone. That little area there, this part here. We're not going to draw any fibers out. We're just going to focus on the abdomen and thorax on both sides. This is a buggy looking nymph for sure. Okay. Then we're going to turn the fly upside down in the vise. And we're going to clip off all the hackle on the bottom, the underside, for the gills and the legs. And we're going to continue drawing out the fur blend underneath with our dubbing needle. Like so. It really gives it an incredible effect. Put your hook back in the vise, and I'm going to press it. Hope you could see that. Get rid of a couple wild hairs here. Guys, this fly is done. And now we're going to coat the entire wing case for the thorax, the abdomen, and we just unblock my glue bottle here. There we go. Just give it a good coating, the entire thorax wing case and the cover for the abdomen. And just comb it over the entire fly, the top part. And make sure you waterproof that knot. Well, there you have it. My version of the Hellgrammite. It's a heck of a great pattern to fish, not only for bass, but for trout. And I highly recommend adding this to your arsenal. That's a darn good looking fly, guys. I think you'll all agree. Yep. Hey, thank you for joining me in this episode of the Fly of the Week. If you like the content I'm pushing out, please hit the notification bell and be sure to subscribe. Tight lines, guys.